Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Out and about again on the big old Ducati XDiavel, a bike that I've been riding for the last few days. Been really getting to know the bike and loving riding it. It's a shame it's not a little bit warmer out. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the things that I love about the bike. Stick around and stay tuned. Okay, so to my top 5 things that I love about the Ducati XDiavel, and this is the standard XDiavel that I'm riding. I was lucky enough to borrow it from Ducati UK a few days back. A big old bruising cruiser bike. Been around since around about 2016. If you haven't seen my initial impressions review of the bike, I'll stick a link up in the corner somewhere, one of these corners. Go back and have a look at that at some point. But in this video, as I said in the intro, I want to tell you the top 5 things that I love about the bike. So number 1, and this is something I don't often get to say on these top 5 videos. The first thing I like about the bike is its exclusivity. They're quite rare. You don't see many of these on the road. In fact, I don't know if I've ever seen one on the road, to be honest. And that is not because it's a bad bike. I think it's probably because it's a cruiser, which for some reason aren't that popular in the UK, or weather maybe isn't too conducive to it. And also perhaps because the cost, £20,000, is a lot of money for a new bike. So I guess that's another thing that makes it exclusive. But if you had the sort of cash and you could afford this sort of bike to come cruising on a sunny summer's afternoon, then exclusivity I think is a great thing. So number 5 on my list of the top 5 things I love about the Ducati XDiavel is its exclusivity. You're just not going to see anyone else parked down at the cafe on one of these, or if you do, it's very unusual. A little bit slippy on the roads today, so taking it a little bit easy. A bit of gravel and muck and stuff on the roads. But to number 4 on my list then, the top 5 things I love about the XDiavel, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to demonstrate it despite the mud and crud on the road here. It's just hopefully there's no traffic about. Oh, here we go. So know this road quite well. It's a bit bumpy, but here we go. I'll demonstrate what I like about the bike. It's got absolutely shed loads of torque. It's an animal, this bike. Although the headline power figure isn't up there with today's super nakeds, the tune on this bike is such that it's all down where you need the power. It's an absolute torque monster, this bike. And that's the 4th thing I love about the Ducati XDiavel. It's monumental torque. Yeah! Alrighty then, to number 3 on my top 5 list of things I love about the XDiavel, and this is something that really the Diavel shouldn't be any good at, and that is its handling. It's got this absolutely monster rear back wheel on here, massive section tyre, yet and massive rake as well. The front forks are raked out, yet the handling on this thing is just epic. It's a bit of a wet slippy day today, as I've said, so I can't go nuts, but on these twisty roads around here, the back lanes, it is just an absolute blast. Oh, catching up with my first white van of the day. Excellent news. Okay, to number 2 on my list then of the top 5 things I love about the Ducati Diavel, the XDiavel I should say. And this is a bit of an odd one, a little bit left field, so go with me here. Not something I've ever said before on one of these lists, I don't think. And okay, maybe I've got this list a little bit out of order to be fair, but it is something I love about the bike. And that is this backlit switchgear. It's just brilliant. I mean, I'm not riding the bike at night, but even during the day with this red lighting on the handlebars, a bit slippery around here, they just look amazing. I love that about the bike. Okay, perhaps number 2 on the list is a bit high for that, but I'm going for number 2 on my list, the top 5 things I love about the XDiavel, the backlit switchgear. I don't know why all manufacturers aren't doing that now. 1 or 2 more are getting with it. I noticed that Triumph are starting to do that now on some of their more modern bikes. KTM have been doing it forever, and I've no idea why BMW don't. But really glad to see that Ducati have on the XDiavel, because it looks really cool. And let's face it, this is just a cool bike. Woo! A rocket ship! Okay then, let's get to the top thing on my list of the top 5 things I love about the XDiavel. And number 1 on my list is straightforward, very simple, and I suspect it's the thing that attracts most people to this bike, and that is just its sheer good looks. The way this bike looks is amazing. The standard Diavel isn't too shabby, but I think this one, the XDiavel, with its more raked out look, slightly sleeker lines, I think is even nicer. Let's face it, Ducati don't make bad looking bikes, do they? In fact, I think they make the most beautiful bikes in the world, and the XDiavel is no exception. That's number 1 on my list. The beautiful looks of the XDiavel. It's just an epic looking machine. So by the way, when I do these top 5 lists, the things I love about a particular bike, I often get comments of people say, why do you say top 5 things of what I love about so often? And that is because when I initially did these a few years ago, it's supposed to be a bit of a parody of David Letterman's show. If you've ever seen his evening show, he does a lot of top 5 lists, and he repeats it over and over again, and it does get a bit laborious. So that's what that was kind of supposed to be, a little homage to David Letterman. So I appreciate maybe not many of my viewers watch David Letterman and therefore didn't get it. So I apologise if it gets on your nerves the amount of time I said top 5 things I love about the XDiavel, but that's why I do that. For some reason it amuses me. So I've got loads more riding to do on the XDiavel. Stick around, stay tuned to the channel, because I'm going to be riding this bike for the next 3 weeks actually. I've got it for a long time, this bike. And at the end of that period, I'm going to give you my sort of long-term overview, the lessons learnt about the bike. Not just the good things, of which there are way more things than just my top 5. I'll give you those as well. But also the bad things I've learnt about the bike. No bike is perfect. And this bike already, I've discovered, has a few foibles. So stick around to the channel if you're interested in those, because that'll be coming up in a few weeks' time. In the meantime, if you haven't seen my videos before, I don't just do bike reviews here on the Missenden Flyer, but I do stuff in the garage about looking after your bike. I do trips and tours at home and abroad. I do bike news every month. I do the odd live stream. Basically anything and everything to do with motorcycles, I try and cover it here on the Missenden Flyer. If you haven't done so already, it'd be fantastic if you hit that subscribe button below, and that way, and the notification bell. That way you'll get to see when I post my next video. Alright, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed that video. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Missenden Flyer. Cheerio. Ah, horse on the road, just what we want. See the way she looks at me then? Unbelievable. I'm the one on the road and I'm going really slowly for her, and she looks at me as if I shouldn't be here.